Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
There's this phenomenon that goes on every 8 to 10 years with this society where a food will pop up out of nowhere and people will act like it always existed. I guarantee you avocados did not exist on Earth up until 8 years ago, okay? This is a legitimate avocado conspiracy. I want to get my hands on some pre-2011 footage of mainstream avocado commercials because I just don't believe they exist. I really don't. I'd never see them in the grocery store. There'd never be commercials about them. Everyone wouldn't be eating them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, that's all anyone does. They're making guac every second. They're putting avocado on their toast. They got it with their dinner and their salads. It's insane. I've never seen anything like this. To be honest with you, besides guac, I don't even like avocados. They're bland. I understand they're healthy for you. And if you open one up and there's even a speck of that brown stuff, it's going right in the garbage, okay? I don't want to be anywhere near that brown stuff. It's 50 times worse than the brown of the banana. So I'm just not an avocado guy. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like they popped up out of nowhere 8 years ago.
So I know for a fact that avocados didn't just pop up out of nowhere 8 years ago. I understand the thinking there, like they just gained an insane amount of popularity, and it's just you realized, oh, hey, this is a thing, and that's the plan. The avocado industry was probably like, hey, we need to pay someone to do a study and tell everybody that these are super healthy so that we can sell more. That's pretty much how it happens. Because it's like $15 to get a single slice of toast with some avocado and an egg and a few other fancy things. It's like 30 cents worth of food. And people are going crazy over it, which is silly. Another thing that I did hear is that a good portion of the avocados in Mexico, because that's where a lot of the avocados come from to America, a good portion of them are controlled by cartels. So perhaps 8 years ago, there was a change of power and they're like, hey, we need to push these in America, make it happen. I don't know. It's just a theory. It's my working theory. Let me know if you can think of anything else about this sudden mysterious avocado appearance. Hey, I just want to tell you how happy I am that you're here. If you have something you'd like me to check out, please let me know down in the comments below and I'll do my best to get it in an upcoming video. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hit that like button for me to really help out my channel. And then come back tomorrow because I'm making a new video every day. All of the days. Every single day I'm here for you.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish things aren't true without checking facts first.
Did you know that there are 6 companies that own almost all of the media in the world? We'll start this off with National Amusements. These are all of their media assets. They have other assets as well, but we're only going to focus on media. The next company is Disney, which is no surprise, and this is all of their media assets. And here's another one of those 6 companies, Time Warner. Next up on the list is Comcast with all of their media assets. Here's another one, News Corp. And of course, we can't forget about Sony. Also, there's a company called the Sinclair Broadcast Group, and according to a report in 2023, they own 223 television stations across the US. And guess who the largest shareholder is in the Sinclair Broadcast Group? It's BlackRock. And BlackRock is also a large shareholder in all 6 of the companies that own almost all of the media in the world. If we just follow the money, I think we can see what's really going on behind the scenes.
I have zero doubt that the media is corrupt. Everything that you take in is controlled by somebody. They want you to see things a specific way and they don't want you to see things a specific way. So yeah, I feel the same way about social media. Like they tell you what you can say and what you can't say and what you can show and what you can't show. Now there are certain things obviously that I can understand being censored, but simple words like unalived, how ridiculous is that? Or pew pew, you can't say that. Why? It doesn't make any sense. It's a little extensive, I think. And as far as this whole TikTok ban thing, I bet if BlackRock had some TikTok in their pocket, this would not be happening. Just saying, BlackRock's got to control everything and they can't control this little narrative, so let's get rid of it.
Companies that have done really stuff. Now, you probably wouldn't think that a banana company would go so far to conspire with the government to try and get a leader overthrown, but you'd be wrong. Before the 80s, Chiquita Banana went under the name United Fruit Company, which was American-owned. In 1951, Guatemalan President Jacobo Arbenz wanted to take back the land owned by the United Fruit Company and distribute it amongst the poor people of Guatemala. So, the United Fruit Company teamed up with the CIA to try and overthrow him as a leader. They called it Operation PB Fortune, but eventually this plan was entirely dismissed. But when Eisenhower became president in 1953, they designed a new plan to overthrow him called PB Success. The US invested millions into psychological warfare and political action, and even considered assassinating Jacobo. The United Fruit Company also lobbied millions of dollars into this operation, and started an entire smear campaign to get Jacobo overthrown. And the wildest part is the fact that it completely worked.
So this is my 90th episode, and every single day for the last 90 days, I have learned something absolutely mind-boggling. Something I had no clue about, and that is just like, why isn't this common knowledge? Unless it is common knowledge and I have common knowledge issues. It's probably the latter. But still, I can't believe it. The corruption inside of a banana company, that's it. That's crazy.
Condone Blue was a program that was recently declassified and started by the Pentagon that it recently acknowledged. It was reportedly a deep black and special access program and proposed by the Pentagon to the Department of Homeland Security. This program researched downed UFOs and conducted tests on psychic abilities. Some declassified documents were recently released, which states and describes in the docs that this program was for acquiring, studying, and engineering technology that the U.S. got from UAPs and UFOs. This program was eventually canceled by the Department of Homeland Security after multiple years of planning from the Pentagon. They had a budget of $12 to $15 million the first couple years, going all the way up to $50 million. Documents reference that some material being housed in that. The documents were signed off by the Undersecretary of Science and Technology. It was initially approved and saying in the documents that it was a necessary step for national security. Right now, they're saying that the money wasn't actually spent and the program was scrapped prior to the money being all spent. There's a lot more that will be coming out soon from these types of objects being found both in the sky and the ocean. I feel like they are definitely preparing us for something and gives us part of the truth. Stay tuned for more updates. Please like, comment, and share below.
I know a few days ago we just kind of touched on the Kona Blue topic a little bit, but I don't buy it. I totally think that Kona Blue is alive and running, and they've got some alien technology going on in the government, and they found it in the ocean because remember NASA used to be all about sea exploration, and now they're suddenly looking in the ocean again. You know it's running. Kona Blue is alive and well.
Proof that ancient civilizations were more advanced than us. The White House was first discovered in 1792. But nobody knows who built it or how it got there. The strange part is there would not have been the technology to build it hundreds of years ago. It has 3 working electric elevators. But the electric elevator wasn't invented until 1880. Has the truth about the White House finally been revealed?
I love when people are all like, here's some proof. I'm waiting. There was no proof. It was speculation. I do like the speculation that the White House was found and not built by this iteration of humans. I do believe that there was previous advanced civilizations, and a lot of this architecture that we're seeing is from them. I like that theory. I love it. And the more I see about it, the more I feel like it's accurate.
Conspiracy time. I believe that some very heavily guarded secrets are located inside state and national parks. Hear me out. So I'm a supervisor at a state park. I have keys to almost every building. I have access code to almost every gate. I have access to places in the park that staff aren't allowed to go, and I have access to the park where general public is not allowed to go. You cannot fly drones over top this park, as well as many other parks. There is a very heavy undercover presence here, and I know that for a fact. There has been numerous times where large portions of the park were shut down due to archaeological reasons, and there has been numerous instances where certain parking lots were completely shut down and filled with National Guard and military vehicles. There are animals back here that are not supposed to be here. Like last year, I actually saw a lemur in the state park in Florida. There are reports of exotic animals that are not supposed to be here. When they're reported to us, we are told to tell them that is because there is exotic breeders just outside the park and sometimes those animals get out. Is that true? I don't know. Going down the rabbit hole in the state parks and out in the wilderness, there have been reports of staircases. Just random staircases out in the forest. Yeah, staircases. Leading to nowhere. Look it up. So yeah, I believe that there's things being hidden back here that they don't want us to know about. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I believe that. There's a lot of areas where the general populace is not allowed to go. And why not? What are you hiding? What's covered up there? This poor guy, though, he needs to be careful, because if you open your mouth about things like this, they're going to shut your mouth forever. So, mum's the word.
What we tend to not understand is that time really doesn't exist. Clocks exist. And like you said, we've been given this functional arrow of time, which puts us in one specific direction so that we can organize our thoughts and our days and our years and weeks and what we're going to do and where we're going to meet up with somebody and everything else. So we have this ability to coordinate and collaborate with each other, like how we're here today at this specific time. However, if you understand that time is also an illusion, it's something that you can use as a tool, but if you also understand that it's an illusion, then you can actually master time and you can maximize what you're doing on this planet.
So I think this video kind of goes along with the video that I played yesterday about time, and how Billy says we have an arrow. It's a functional arrow to show you which way to go, so that there's a possibility for coordination with other people in this big old conglomerate of time, right? Just like I said, we are taught that time is linear, and the way that we experience aging is what gives us, a path to follow. But it's like the arrow, that's the time. It's the clock is our arrow to show you which way to experience these things, even though they've all already happened all at once, which is a lot to grasp.
Every single person you've ever known and ever will know was you. Well, at least according to the egg theory. The Egg was a story posted online in 2009. The story features two characters, a 48-year-old man and God. The man has passed away due to a car accident and has come face to face with God. God tells this man that he's about to be reincarnated, but not in the future, but rather in the 5th century as a Chinese girl. Every single time he passes away in one of his lives, he's going to be reincarnated in another time period. And so at some point he would have reincarnated as everybody that has ever lived. In this story, God also reveals that there are deities aside from God that exist. And the universe is essentially an egg for each of these deities. You will keep reincarnating until you are ready to emerge and become a god.
So I had touched on the egg theory in a previous episode, and I think that those go together as far as time is occurring all at once, and the egg theory can be put together very nicely. But it is extremely mind-blowing to just think about it. It's difficult to comprehend how everything is just occurring all at the same time. And we are just experiencing it in a certain sequence. And it's very difficult to put together, knowing that we have that arrow that is pointing you in a specific direction along all of these events. It's a crazy theory, and it is just, it'll make your head hurt.
The government is lying to you, and the Skinny Bob footage from the 40s is fake. Are you sure? Look at this upscaled image. Pay attention to Skinny Bob's eyes. In this improved version you can see his irises contract with the changing light. Remember, this video was supposedly recorded in the 40s, a time when deepfakes didn't exist.
Now, if you've been watching me for a while, you know my position on aliens. And there are a few reasons why I think this particular video is fake. But I want to know why you think it might be fake or why you think it might be authentic. Because I don't want to say that I think it's fake because I want it to be real. But let me know what you think and let's have a conversation about it.
So my sister, who is like a literal genius, came up with this theory when she was probably 11 that to this day makes so much sense. We all know that time seems to go faster the older you get. Her logic for this is that as you age, time becomes a lesser percentage of your life. So when you're 2, a year is half of your life. That's a long time. But by the time you're 30, a year is a much smaller percentage. And by the time you're 80, it's really small.
I didn't realize I had so many time videos in today's episode. As far as perception of time, I totally get that. But I think that what you've done throughout the year also is a contributing factor to how it may have felt. Like for the last week, I have done nothing. And I feel like the last week has gone by so slowly. But when I'm working, you're hustling and things are moving and the days go by so fast. But also when you look back on everything is what makes it seem like, oh, that was so long ago. Or, man, that was just yesterday. Because you're already in this moment looking back on it. Speaking of this moment, looking back on it, like I said earlier, this is my 90th episode. 10 more until I hit the big 100, and I'd like to know what you guys would like to see. I'd like your ideas and your thoughts of what I should do for my 100th episode, and I'll filter through them and put something together. And until then, thank you so much for your time. I totally appreciate you. I hope to see you tomorrow. Come back. I'm going to have new stuff. We're going to see different things, and it's going to be fantastic. Have a wonderful day.